time now for us to say to the government of the United States, here we are, here we stand. The black men, the children of slaves that built your country, that fought and died in all your wars. Now look, we don't intend to live in poor housing. We don't intend to live like dogs. You owe us a debt.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. Minister Louis Farrakhan has been talking about the social injustices that have been committed against black people. He has been talking about how a given race has dominated over black people for a very long time. And he says this is the time to liberate ourselves, and this is the time we should acknowledge that the division amongst ourselves is whatever has cost us a lot. So let's watch this video, then I'll have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Frustrated men, guns and drugs, and men with no creative mind. Guns and drugs, and a man that is not really a man of his own destiny. So brothers, when you're like this, you don't see the brother sitting next to you as your flesh. Look at the brother sitting next to you. Look behind you and look at all your brothers all the way down. Look at them. Just look at them. Look in front of you and see all these men up here. Do you see yourself as their family? No. No. I came in here tonight. I want to hear Farrakhan. But something happened while you were in the line. You never saw anything like that before. Look at all these black men, man. They lined up all the way to the freeway, wrapped around the building. Nobody arguing, nobody fighting. Look at this, man. Look, look. Whoa, whoa, what is this? And when you sit down, ain't no women in the audience. You ain't rubbing shoulders with another woman that you could check out to see how short her dress is, what her thighs look like. You're sitting next to your brother, so there shouldn't be any sexual stimulation from being close. But out in the hood, it's every man for himself. And so when you got a gun, you feel you got power. You're at home, you call the dog may come.
That's sad. That's sad, brothers. That's sad.
You're at home, you call your children, they may come. But when you put out the gun, people start coming to that. What you say you want? Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll give. That you feel that's real power. And then the kicker is when you squeeze the trigger and you watch the body of your brother gyrate under the heat of a bullet, and you see him cry out, "Oh God," and he gasps, and you watch his life ooze out, and you don't have no feeling for him. You go back home with your boys, you eat a beef burger, hamburger, a pizza, and you go to bed like you did nothing. But those women that are out there cheering you tonight, they got to carry their sons to a final resting place. For every black person that you kill, you have wounded whole families. Whole families around. Then you set up vengeance in those that are remaining behind, so they're plotting now to get you. And you know, I watch white folks send a contraption up that circles the earth. I watched them send a telescope up, and it didn't work. And then they sent something else up to correct the telescope. Tens of thousands of miles away. And you mean to tell me they can't correct a condition that is going on in every major city of America? Something is wrong. Now, brothers, you are programmed right now for total destruction. See, when they put out a movie called Boys in the Hood and show us to the world at our worst behavior, when they put a movie out called Menace to Society, and you see your brothers pistol whip a Korean woman, reach over the counter, shoot her, and then go home and take a video camera of it and sit down and laugh at it, and you in the movie laughing at it too. White folk have sent that movie all over the world. And do you know what's being done? White people all over the world and your own black brothers are looking at you through the lens of a movie camera, and they are saying, my God, black people are terrible. The biggest industry in America today is prisons. They're going to build more and more and more. Who they building them for, brothers? It costs nearly $40,000 a year to keep you in jail. They're not interested in giving you education. They like you just like you are, so that 3 strikes you're in for life. And with 3 strikes, they've got a free worker. In other words, another plantation, brothers. You're a slave for the rest of your life. What is it, brother? That's right. That's right. That's right. If you don't want to go with the program, they'll program. And so here you are, programmed for annihilation. And look, brothers, the guns that you have in the community right now is a justification for big tanks to come in the neighborhood. And guess what? Our women are so distraught at the level of violence. Our mayors, our black mayors and white mayors and police chiefs, they're saying, look, we can't handle this. So they're calling for the National Guard. They're calling for reinforcement from the army. And pretty soon, if this doesn't get turned around, you're going to see your blood running in the gutters, because you're going to run out with your pop gun. And they're going to come in with helicopter gunships and tanks rolling in the community, and you don't have nothing to match it. But this little sense of power that you have is driving you crazy to kill your own. You're menace two. Who's menace one? Who's menace one? If I'm John the second, there gotta be John the first that I come from. If you are menace two, who's menace one? White males have menaced the earth, and now they produce you as a menace to who? To yourself and your own community. So what must be done? There was an ass tied.
Talk about that. Talk about that.
And a young colt was tied with the ass. And Jesus, when he met Peter and the disciples, he said, look, I know you're a fisherman, Peter, but I don't need you fishing in that sea. Follow me, and I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Because our people are in the sea of sin, and somebody has to go after them. But they like the water that they're in. So you got to bait your hook with something the fish like. But fishing with a hook is slow. So Jesus said, cast your net on the right side. Reverend, we got to come with the right stuff. These black men are not here tonight to be played with. They are here tonight because they want to change in their life and they want to change in their community. All praise is due to Allah. So brothers, in 1995, I would like to take 1 million black men to Washington, D.C. Tell our sisters, our wives, our mothers, our grandmothers, sweetheart, this time, please stay at home. Mother, you have always stood for us, and we've never stood up for our families. But we're coming of age now, Mom. And we want to go to Washington and state our case. Our fathers, sweat, blood, and tears built this country. Our fathers and our mothers worked from can't see morning to can't see night with no pay to build the economy of the South, to fuel the economy and the industrial revolution of the North. Mother, wife, sister, auntie, baby. We fought in all America, Germany, is paying reparations to the Jews for the Holocaust that the Germans put on the Jews. All Germans didn't do this, but all Germans are being taxed to pay for what was done to the Jews. In 1941, when Japan struck at Pearl Harbor, Japanese Americans were rounded up and sent to concentration camps. And the government admits she was wrong. She was wrong. So they're going to pay reparations to the Japanese. Look at our condition, brothers. Don't we need a repair job? Don't we need somebody to repair our broken heads, our broken hearts, and our broken pocketbooks? Brothers, here's what we have to do. I know our time is late, and I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to say to you that you who feel that you are despised and rejected, that you are the bottom rail, that you are the last, that you and I are a foolish people, God said, I will choose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. I will choose the things that are not, to bring to naught the things which are. I will choose the despised and the rejected, and the bottom rail will go to the top, and the last shall be the first. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our sight. Whether you know it or not, black man, God has chosen you. Not because of your blackness, but He's chosen you because you have suffered in the furnace of affliction. And now, as Reverend Jackson said, the more you burn gold, you never burn it, you only purify it by removing its dross. You are pure gold, black man, chosen by God now to do a mighty work. There is an ass tied.
All right.
Somebody's not using the donkey, but God said, go loose him. And if anybody asks you what you're doing, tell them the master has come. He has need of that donkey. Brothers, don't leave. Don't leave. You're gonna miss something if you leave. You're gonna miss this. Whether you want to know it or not, brothers, you are more important than you think you are. This Quran, which is the book of scripture of the Muslims, I would like to read a verse from it. It says, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, O people, keep your duty to your Lord. Let's stop right there. Every man among us knows you owe a duty to God. And you know how I know that you know? Because every one of you and every one of us, when we get in trouble, and each one of us in this room has been in some trouble that's so deep, you call on who? God. Now, when you called on him, brothers, what did you say? What did you say? You said, listen to your words now, God. And when you called him, you were real sincere because the trouble was deep. And listen to what you said. You said, God, if you just get me out of this one time, didn't you say it? How many have said it? Raise your hands. Come on. All right. Now look at what you said you was going to do. You said, God, if you get me out of this one time, I'll serve you for the rest, come on, of my life. You know you said it, and you know you lied. Brothers, when you said it, the Holy Quran says, and when I brought them safely to shore, lo, they set up other gods beside me. Surely man is ungrateful. You forgot. Now, brothers, the Quran says, keep your duty to your Lord, who created you from a single being and created its mate of the same essence. Stop. What does single mean? Is God one? He created you from himself. Oh, you gotta hear this. He created you and me from himself, and he created our mate of the same essence, meaning your woman is from God and you are from God, which means what? That the nature of God is your nature. So every one of you that are from God, and that's all, you are of divine. Your nature is divine. You are the people of God. Let's go a little further. You're black. Are you black because you're cursed? No. You're black because you are the first creature that he created, and you took your color from the darkness out of which you emerged. Listen good now. You're not black because you cursed. You're black because you are the original human being from whom all other human beings came. You are the first from God. Can you prove it, Farrakhan? Sure. Y'all all right? When they want to find the origin of man, they don't go to Europe. Where they go? What you say? I didn't hear you. They went to Africa. They found the bones of a man they call Zinjanthropus.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. I've been talking about Louis Farrakhan a very long time leader of the Nation of Islam who has been talking about the oppressions that have been committed against black people. Now, he has spoken extensively over decades about the historical injustices and the ongoing atrocities committed against people of the black descent. Now, we must remember where all this began from, and we must also confront the truth when it matters the most. Now, it must be remembered that African Americans or the black diaspora were taken from Africa 300, 400 years back, and they since have been there in the foreign land and going through a lot. Now, Louis Farrakhan has never stopped talking about how black people and the legacy of slavery that has been committed against black people. He has never been short of talking about the systematic oppression that has been in existence for a very long time. Now, Louis Farrakhan has been very vocal on talking about the legacy and the impact of slavery. Now, let's just be honest that slavery has done so much damage to black people. Now, Louis Farrakhan has even been saying that they were stripped of their culture, they were stripped of their names, they were stripped of their identity, and they were given different identities. Now, even the names that they were given names that they were not theirs because some of them had no culture. Their culture was taken away. And for a very long time, black people in the diaspora have gone through a lot. And they have survived all these the legacy of slavery, and how they were even stripped of their religion and they were given a religion that was not theirs. Now, Louis Farrakhan has been frequently highlighting these things in his sermons and maybe teachings, let me say that. And the transatlantic slave trade has not left black people the same way because it has extorted so many things, so many values from them. It has left them with the scars of slavery. It has left them with wounds to nurture for all this time. So it is good when we always remind of ourselves of the bad and the good that has happened to us. Now, Louis Farrakhan has also been talking about the systematic racism and institutional oppression that has been taking place in the US and so many other parts where black people were taken to. Now, he draws attention to how modern institutions such as the criminal justice system, education system, healthcare system, and housing continue to disadvantage black people. You all know about these things, right? You all must have gone through this at one point, those in the diaspora, I mean. You all know that there is so much there is so much unfairness in the criminal justice system. Who doesn't know that a given race of people tend to be to get justice in the courts than a given type of people who have been associated with drugs and all these other things. Now, even the people, the judges or the juries who sit in those court hearing cases, some of them are very biased because they have some stereotypes about black people that are they're drug dealers and all these other things. It is so bad. We continue seeing the oppression and we continue seeing how much the systems have been against a given race over time to time, and we have had no solution to this because just like how Louis Farrakhan says, the recent generation of white people did not do this, but the recent generation of white people are in those luxurious positions, enjoying them just because their fathers and their mothers and their generation oppressed the people just for them to have all these things they have right now. So they enjoy the legacy of slavery. They enjoy everything that came with the oppression of black people. This is whatever Louis Farrakhan has been talking about for a very long time. Now, he has also been talking about reparations. We all know that reparations has been a very, very complicated topic around the diaspora, because we know that reparations is not a grant and is not a help. Reparations is a must, because black people worked out day in, day out. They went in those farms day in, day out. They even slept hungry, working in the farms of these countries, working in the industries of these countries. And some of them died in the fields just to make these countries great, just to make the US a superpower, just to make European countries to work. If you are very knowledgeable about the Industrial Revolution that took place 200 years back, you must see how much the sector of labor played a very big role in making sure that the Industrial Revolution was achieved. Now, the labor majorly came from black people, the slaves, yes. And this is what made it easy for them to achieve Industrial Revolution. Actually, if you are very keen, you are going to realize that it is Industrial Revolution that saved the US, it saved Europe and all these other countries. That after Industrial Revolution is when their economies woke up, and that's when they achieved greatness during the First World War and the Second World War, because they had stable economies. Most of them had good economies thanks to black people. Now, Louis Farrakhan has been advocating for this, and not just Louis Farrakhan, a lot. He has been calling out for the reparations of black Americans and all those who live in the diaspora, calling for financial compensation, which is very important, for compensation of land, which is very important, and institutional reform as an address to the ongoing centuries of exploitation and suffering for the black people. It is very important that we should also remind ourselves that white supremacy and global imperialism has been ongoing, not just in the diaspora, but even in Africa. That this is why we see a group of people thinking that they are the lords of this world, not all of them, but some of them, maybe majority, I don't know. But this has been happening for a very long time. And Louis Farrakhan has not run short of saying this. And he has been saying this time to time, that we actually must discuss the white supremacy that is going around. That he has even often criticized white supremacy, not just as a domestic issue, but as a global force that has influenced imperialism in Africa, in the diaspora, and all over the world. Now, this is whatever led to colonization and the exploitation of African nations and African people who went there as slaves. Now, this is these oppressions as something that is very urgent and should be stopped. And I see it the same way, that the white supremacy that has been discussed around Africa and in the world must stop. We have no any other solution than to bring these oppressions down as much as we can. Now, brothers and sisters, the only way we can do this is first by having a self connection with the motherland, is by having the cultural reconnection with the motherland, with the people of Africa, is by uniting ourselves. Now, I do not now want to talk about Louis Farrakhan anymore. I've said enough of whatever Louis Farrakhan has been talking about. Now, let me run you through some series of events that has been taking place for years. Now, 200 years, 300 years back, they took the children of Africa from Africa to the diaspora. So many of them died in the containers without food. Some of them ran out of oxygen because of the heating and all this stuff. Now, by the time they were reaching the other side, many of them had lost their lives. And the few who reached there, or the majority who reached the land of oppression, were met with brutality. These people were taken into farms. They were worked out, whether it's training or not. Some of them lost their lives in those farms. They were being whipped and they were being discussed as not human beings. They were being taken as not human beings. And they were being disrespected in the highest manner. In the best way disrespect can be shown to someone. Now, this has happened over time. And it is so sad to see these things still happening to date. In 2020, we lost George Floyd. And this rose, and this was like, it showed how inhumane some people can be and their systems. And this was meant to open our eyes, we as Black people. For how long are we going to beg people to listen to us? For how long are we going to beg the Western countries? Some of them are so good, some of the people there are so good, but they're systems that were created by their parents. They say it is better for someone who showed you a gun than someone who laughs at you than holding a knife in their trousers. It is so good that we know time to time that things are changing, but the people have always remained the same. They have been carrying their behaviors time to time. And it is time we should appreciate the fact that we've had people like Louis Farrakhan, we've had people like Martin Luther King, who have been talking the truth and trying to unite the Black race, the Black community. And it is time we should do it ourselves. It is not time we should leave this for one person or two people. Don't leave it to me alone to be talking about this. Don't leave it to someone else to be talking about it alone. Let's do this as a collective responsibility to make ourselves better. And the only way to make ourselves better is first to realize that it is good for people, it is good for us as people of the Black community to come together. The unity of the Black community really matters. And somehow it's a threat to the Western world. If we can unite, bring ourselves together, and acknowledge ourselves as humanities, people of the human race, there is no white, there's no Black. It is some people who created this just to feel superior to others. Now, the white supremacy should stop, and a Black should actually embrace themselves and bring themselves up and unite and make sure that everything is working for them. No one is coming to save ourselves or us. We are the one to save ourselves. This is the time and this is the call. If really this was a very good message, then do exactly what this message says. And if this was really a good channel, please subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thank you so much.